So, hi everyone. For this session, we're going to be talking about career explorations and planning towards what comes after high school. What does your child think they want to do? And we've got with us Jessica Schaid, who is with a program called Ivy Camps USA and has some great resources for us to get started on that career plan for after high school. So, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Thank you so much, Kim. I'm really excited to be here with everyone today and really dig into how can we best support our kids as we're thinking about that high school journey, and then really using that high school journey as a stepping stone to what's after. So that post-secondary college career exploration. And so we're going to focus on that today. So when we look at career exploration, I'm going to really dig into a couple of different points. One, really exploring a broad field to help your child identify the field that they want to go into, so that way they can narrow down into a specific major and then a specific career. And then also really thinking about that long-term planning. So when we're thinking about career planning, right, this isn't something we're doing tomorrow. This is something we're doing 8, 6, maybe 5 years from now. And so how do we set those goals and stay on track? That's hard for an adult to do. So when we're working with adolescents, what tools can we put in their hands to help them accomplish this? And then also the power of a peer mentor. We know that during adolescence, students don't always want to listen to parents or teachers or older adults, right? And that's natural. That's where they're supposed to be in their phase of development. But it can also be challenging for us. And so we'll talk about how we can leverage college students to, one, be a positive role model, and two, help us keep our students on track, help us keep our kids on the journey that we know will be good for them, but sometimes they aren't always receptive to us as older adults to receiving that message.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. So you have a PowerPoint with
Yeah,
you?
I
You
do. I
ready
have
to look at that?
a little slide deck that I put together just to kind of help provide some resources and some ideas for parents. So again, thank you for joining. I do want to give a little bit of background information. So I know we kind of already covered the session objectives. So again, we're really going to talk about how we work with rather than against the natural phase of human development during adolescence. And then how can we support our students with that career exploration? And then, of course, we'll talk about some ways that Ivy Camps USA can help you and your students along the way. So let's start with a little bit of background so you all know why I'm here. So Ivy Camps USA was founded in 2010. And the idea with Ivy Camps USA is, one, students need to have fun, right? You learn more when you have fun, you remember more when you have fun. And so, of course, that fun is at the center of it. The other thing is the skill building, right? With Common Core and the college and career readiness skill sets, we know that there are skill sets that are high demand, not only for college success, but also for career success. And so each of our camp programs also builds in those skills in a fun way. And so we offer online virtual camps for students age 6 through 18. So we do have a junior prep program, which I'm not going to talk about as much today. I'm really going to focus on our pre-university program, which is for our high school students. What makes our programs unique is that each of our camp counselors, as we call them program leads, each of our program leads is currently a college student from a top US university. And there's a reason for that. I'll get into that a little bit more in the presentation. We are an international camp, so that's another thing that's a lot of fun. Being virtual, being online, we can allow students to connect from all over the world. And so it allows students to have that perspective and get to learn from each other and just kind of experience the world without having to leave their living room, which is really fun. My background, I am a curriculum development specialist for the pre-university courses with Ivy Camps USA. I have a master's in education with a specialization in curriculum and instruction and teaching English to speakers of other languages, or TESOL. And I have 16 years in secondary and post-secondary education. I also teach at the University of New Mexico for our College of Education, and so doing some teacher prep programming in there as well. So that's kind of where I've gained a lot of my insight and had some hands-on experience with actually applying this before sharing it. So
Excellent.
So when we're thinking about this navigating high school, right, we know, and research shows us, right, we can go back to Erickson, we can look at some of these early works in human growth and development, and we know that it is natural for adolescents to begin to assert their independence and form their adult identity. And this is important. It requires students to begin making their own decisions. It requires students to begin doing risk management. But it's also really challenging because we know that this is a time where they need guidance, right? Navigating high school is hard. Choosing which college or university you want to go to is hard. And so having this phase where students want to break away from us, but we want to give them more guidance, it can create a little bit of tension, and it can create some challenges along the way. And then just the idea of having so many options. You know, when we were younger, or when I was younger, it didn't seem like there were as many careers to choose from. And there are so many options now. And
Right.
that can be really overwhelming for students.
Right. I feel like I was given like the choice of you can be a nurse or a teacher.
Exactly. Those were my choices too. So, and now it's like, well, if you want to go into business, well, what kind of business do you want to go into? Or if you want to go into medicine, well, do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be a surgeon? Do you want to be a nurse practitioner? It's just,
Or a
it's overwhelming.
pharmacist, or yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so, how can we help kids with this? And that's really what we set out to do, is help students make the most of these years, so that they're ready when they graduate. They're ready for that college experience.
Right. And to consider more options than you might know about too. I mean, there are a lot of options, but
Exactly.
but we might still come at it with some of these this or this kind of you got two choices. No, no. What are the other things that you don't know that you don't know? So
Exactly. And then thinking about, that life after graduating from college, what's it going to feel like to be in that career? Because I think that's something a lot of kids don't think about is, what's it going to feel like to do this job day in and day out for decades?
yep.
So we want to give them that experience too. So some of the ways we can help our teenagers succeed, right? We've been talking a little bit about career exploration. We'll dig into that more. Some of our long-term planning, right? We want to set those goals for when I graduate from high school, right? But if I'm a freshman, 4 years seems really far away.
Mm-hmm.
So what are steps I need to take today to reach my end goal? And how can we help break that down for students to make it manageable for them? And then, of course, those peer college role models that I keep mentioning. So let's dig into career exploration a little bit. We know that there are a lot of different career fields, and there are some big jobs within those career fields. So, for example, maybe you want to go into education and you want to become a teacher. That's one option in education. There are so many different things you could do in education. You could be a data management specialist, you could be a career counselor, you could be a school administrator, you could go and work for a company designing online education programs. So there's so many options within that field. And with the Ivy Camps USA programs, we really want the students to explore all of the different options within that field.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes when you do a quick Google search and you look up what can you do with this major online, you just get the top 5 picks. And so we really want to help students select a career field that they want to explore, rather than a specific career that they want to do. And the reason for this is when you do some of the career interest surveys online, they might say you would be a good doctor. Right? And it pigeonholes the student into that one specific field. And they may be an excellent doctor,
Mm-hmm.
but their interest, their skill set, maybe they would actually be better placed and have a better fit in medical research. And so that's something that we really want to give the entire buffet to the students, to choose from those different careers. And so really thinking more about the majors and the field rather than the specific job. And then allowing the student to explore all of the possible jobs within that field. So if your child wants to go into engineering, excellent, excellent. Do they want to go into chemical engineering or mechanical engineering or structural engineering? And so really allowing them the opportunity to look at all of those different jobs or pathways within the engineering field. And then the other thing is really thinking about their high school experience. So if I'm in high school, what courses could I take today that would allow me to experience this career field? We know we want our students to graduate from college, ideally in 4 years or 5 years. We really don't want to stretch it out to 7 or 8 because it just gets too expensive. And so thinking about doing some of this career exploration in high school, so that way when I enter into college, I may not know the specific job that I want yet, but I at least know the field that I want to enter.
Mm-hmm.
And then also thinking about that community service. The more that we can use community service or internships or shadowing to really gain that experience in the field. So if I want to go into education, is there an internship that I can get? Is there a teaching assistant position that I can get? Can I volunteer and read to young children or go in and do programs with young children or help siblings at home with their education so that I can feel like I'm gaining some of that experience? And so really thinking about how we can tie in that community service and that internship. One, it gives the students more experience with that skill set. But two, when they're applying to university, it also shows that university how passionate they are about that career field. And that's really important when you're looking at some of the more competitive universities, is just demonstrating your passion and demonstrating your commitment to that field. So those are some of the different things that you can start looking at with your students when it comes to career exploration. So if your student loves animals and really wants to be a vet, is there a local animal shelter that they could volunteer at to start gaining some of that experience to see if that's truly the path that they want to go down? And then once we've kind of narrowed down that path, thinking about the long-term planning and the short-term planning, right? We need both.
Mm-hmm.
And so thinking about a 4-year plan. There are many checklists available, and they vary by state. So I didn't include them in this program, but if you are from whatever state you're in, taking a look at the Department of Education website, many of them have free resources that just are little check boxes. Like, this is what you need to do freshman year. This is what you need to do sophomore year. And that can help you stay on track so that you're making sure that you are joining, gaining some of that leadership experience. So that might be through, a church youth group or through 4-H or Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. It could also be through an online camp. And so thinking about different ways that you can build your resume over the course of 4 years. And one way that you can make sure that your student stays on track with this is through setting SMART goals. So you've probably heard about SMART goals before. They became really popular about 5 years ago, but if you haven't heard about them yet, they're a great tool. And so SMART goals stand for goals that are specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-bound. And when we set these SMART goals, this helps our kids from becoming overwhelmed. When we think about everything that I have to do in the next 4 years to be ready for college, as a 14-year-old, that's going to overwhelm me. Mm-hmm. So if I can break that down and think about, these are the things I need to do this month in order to stay on track for my 4-year plan, it becomes much more manageable. And then when we partner that with action planning, and this is really helpful for that phase of adolescent development, right? We've got students that are pushing back against adults because they're supposed to, that's where they're at in their life. These action plans actually have students reflect on, who can help me with this step to reach my goal? And so rather than us as adults pushing in and saying, hey, you need to do X, Y, Z to our student, which developmentally may not be the best fit, it asks the students to pull us in. Hey, I need help from my mom. I need help from my dad. I need help from a youth mentor to help me reach my goal. And when they come to us and ask for help, they're much more receptive to the advice that we have to offer.
Yeah, you just offer advice. It doesn't even feel like they're listening.
No, it's like, you're like, I've got an idea, and this filter goes up and they just turn off their ears. So, yeah. It does help to have a structure that kind of forces them to ask us. And then the other thing that really helps with just the phase of adolescence is having that peer mentor or role model that's going to be echoing the same message that you are saying as the parent. And that's really important because teenagers are going to turn to their peers during this time of life. That is what they are supposed to do from a developmental standpoint. We want to be sure they're turning to the right peers during this time of life. And so thinking about bringing in positive mentors, positive role models who are currently in college, right? And this is why we use the program leads or the camp counselors that are current college students at elite universities. We want them vetted to be sure that they are positive role models, that they are driven, that they have the skill set that is needed to not only be successful, but to also guide someone else in mirroring that success, in following their footsteps. And so we really want to have someone who is saying, yes, your GPA matters. Yes, you need to apply for scholarships. Absolutely, you should get an internship. Here's how I got mine. And so we want that role model for the students. So that way, when you as the parent and teacher are saying, hey, you really need to do some community service, right? But if they're not hearing that, they're not listening to that, because again, it's natural during this time of human growth and development to push away from adult advice. And so having a college student come in and say, hey, you should do some community service. Here's what I did. Here are some options for you. Again, it just really reinforces that message that the students are receiving from adults. It also provides someone to ask questions to. When I was working with high school students, and I did bring college mentors into my classroom to work with the high school students, I expected them to ask questions like, where do you go for tutoring if you're taking calculus? Or who's your favorite professor? Or how do you get involved in research as an undergraduate? Those were not the questions my kids were asking, right? They were like, what's in the cafeteria for food? How do you get into the gym, and how do you get the pass for the movie theater? And so a lot of those questions are social questions that I might not be able to answer as an older adult, but the college kids that are currently enrolled can answer those questions. And so it helps the students get a more well-rounded perspective of not only the academics at the university, but also what is it like to be a college student in 2021, because that's something that these college students can speak to. And so again, and then of course it gives the good role model as well. So how can Ivy Camps USA help you with this, right? As a homeschooling parent, you have a lot on your plate. And so we've got a few things that can help you. First of all, there is a PDF that is also available for you to download so that you have some tools for setting SMART goals and action planning. Another way that we can help is through our pre-major courses. So for pre-university, we have pre-major courses that allow the students to really, again, explore the broad field within that career. And throughout the course of the camp, they actually participate in an activity that is relevant to them, but that also allows them to experience what it is like to be in that career. Because again, that experience is very different than just reading about it online or having someone tell you what it's like to be a doctor or tell you what it's like to be a teacher. And so we want the students to actually experience some of that. And so there's a project or an experiential that the students participate in throughout the course of the camp. And then, of course, they look into different fields within that broad career field, and they look at what choices should they make in high school to pursue this career if they're interested in this particular field, and then what should they be looking for in a university if they're interested in this particular field. When it comes to really thinking about planning and setting those SMART goals, we have a course called Planning Your Future, the Pre-Application Journey. And this course is great for any student in high school, but is really excellent for our underclassmen. We're thinking about our 9th graders, our 10th graders, because it focuses on the next 4 years. And it provides support with setting those long-term and short-term goals with SMART goals and action planning, but it also digs into things like organization and time management, and begins some of that college exploration so that they can begin making those choices early on so that they're set up for success by the time they graduate from high school. And then, of course, if you're looking for that peer mentor or peer role model, we also offer high school mentorship. And so that partners your student with a specific college tutor or mentor that will help them throughout the course of the semester. So you can buy a year-long package, you can buy a semester-long package, but it allows your student to meet with a peer mentor once a month, again, to make sure that they're setting goals and they're reaching those goals and taking the steps that they need to build the resume that they want to build by the time they've graduated from high school. So all of these are available on our website. So I will go ahead and share that with you really quick. You can go to Ivy Camps USA, and we have options for summer, but then also options for our different age groups. So our high school programs.
Are you pulling up the website?
Yes, let me pull that up. I'm sorry, I thought I was sharing it, but maybe I
No,
wasn't.
you'll have to share your screen again.
Oh, perfect, thank you. Let me go ahead and share that. Right. There we go. So if you go to Ivy Camps USA, I think you can see this now.
Mm-hmm.
If you scroll down, you will see all of our courses. So again, you can filter these by college careers, college admissions. So this is great for students that are getting ready to apply, writing some of those essays, looking at different universities, and then of course our college success. So again, our upperclassmen, so our juniors and seniors that are getting ready for that college experience. We also have some programs that provide them with some support as they are getting ready for that college experience. And then of course we also have some mentorship available as well. So there's several different courses in here. The top majors in the US for career placement, of course, are listed on here, along with some other courses that can help your student prepare for high school and be successful in high school, but then also prepare for college and be successful in college.
And what if they don't know what career field they're even interested in? Did you have resources somewhere on here?
Yes, absolutely. So for that course, I'm really going to recommend Planning Your Future, the pre-application journey.
Okay.
In Planning Your Future, the pre-application journey, the students go through an actual career exploration so that they can start narrowing down their career field. Again, we don't want to pigeonhole
Right.
students into one specific career. We want to say, hey, you really like helping people. So
Mm-hmm.
since you really like helping people, you may want to explore the field of medicine or the field of psychology to think about how you can help people in their daily life. Or you really like creating things, you really like building things, you're really great with engineering. You might want to take a look at Introduction to the Universe and look at aerospace engineering, or maybe a broader engineering field and take a look at exploring something within there, or perhaps maybe you want to look at architecture. And so we do have a career interest survey that is built into that program. It's in the style of social media to keep it fun and engaging for the students. But rather than pigeonholing them into a specific career, it says, choose from these different career fields. This is where your skills and interests tend to lie. So again, embedding that choice.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So, if you have any questions, Kim, I would love to answer any questions. I do want to say to the audience, there is contact information available in the PDF. So if you would like to reach out, we do offer free consultations. So if you're like, I know my kid needs help with this, but I don't know where to start, you can request a free consultation on our website, and we can put you on the phone with a counselor that can help you make those choices for your students. We are also offering packages for this fall. So I'm really excited about this because you get a discount and you can choose courses for your students to complete throughout the course of the semester. So they can explore some careers, get some academic support, and then also have some of those mentorship programs. And I think that partners really well with some of the homeschool curriculum because it's once a week for an hour. And so it would become, okay, Mondays, I've got my career exploration course. So that's something to think about.
And are most of these programs like just one-on-one courses that they take and they interact just with the mentor and the facilitator, or do they have some more like kind of group interaction?
That's a great question. We do try to keep our ratio small because we want to be sure that that student has that mentorship from the program lead. So our typical camps have a ratio of 5 campers or 5 students with 1 program lead or counselor. And that also, we run them through Zoom, so that allows everyone to be on the screen at the same time, so you can see everyone at the same time. With our mentorship and our tutoring, it is one-on-one. So you get that personalized support.
All right. Well, this is very exciting. It's all great information. I'm learning something new myself that I didn't know about. So I'm glad you were able to join us today to tell us some more about this really cool resource that you've got available. So, and I hope that it inspires others to take a look at what you've got. And we will see everybody else in the next session.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me today.